Welcome back to the Alex Beyond Thoughts podcast with me, your host, Alex. We have a wonderful special guest on our episode today. If you could all give a little round of applause for our lovely guest, Elle.
Oh,
Welcome to the show, Elle.
I'm literally so honored to be here. Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you. So, kind of today, the main topic we are going to be exploring is nutrition and wellness, and probably a good chunk of Pilates because Elle is a Pilates instructor and I am an enthusiast to a degree. I am not an expert by any means, but that is the kind of main premise of today's show. So, I really wanted to get straight into what your journey into nutrition, Pilates, wellness has been.
Oh, okay. Right, let's get straight into it, Alex.
I love it. I love it.
Um, okay, so it's funny how things come full circle, I think, because when I think back now, like the jobs that I did, so I used to work for Tyrrell's, like a local crisp company, and I worked for a sauce lady, so food based. She used to make her own sauces, and I just loved like local produce and things like that. But I hated working in an office and
Mm,
it was just not for me. I'm not that girl. I 9 to 5 kills my vibe. So um
absolutely.
but I love food. I love the food. And it's not like I've never like felt particularly creative or like enjoyed cooking or thought about it. But then I became an artist basically. So I didn't like the office life. I became an artist. And then I got pregnant, and then when I was pregnant with my son, that's when I first like fell in love with nutrition. I was like, I care so much more about what I'm putting in my body. I would do all the research, and then when he was born and weaning, it like, oh my gosh, it changed my life. Like he changed my life for sure. Like nothing. It was when he was 2 that I started my nutritional science degree and was like, I want this to be my career, thinking I would probably go into kids nutrition because I was super passionate about it. There's nothing like more important and more special for me, I believe, than just you nurture those children. Like there's so much responsibility in that, and like I take that so seriously.
Yeah.
But weirdly, and then I had my daughter, and I took some time out to have her, and then carried on with the degree. And I'm just plodding away with it. And then a couple of years ago, me and my husband went through a really, really difficult time. Things that are like beyond the scope of the podcast,
Yeah.
but kind of traumatic events that like caused us both some serious chronic stress. And he suffered with really bad depression. I suffered with just like burnout, like complete burnout. I didn't even know what burnout was. And then chronic anxiety. I was like, what is this? I'd be walking the dogs and I would just like lose. I just get weakness in my legs. I'd be walking the dogs and I'd just kind of collapse, and I'd go to A&E and they'd
Wow.
say, it's crazy. They would just say, everything's fine. Your blood tests are fine. And that's when I was like, wow, there's something that's not being picked up here in mainstream medicine that's like, really important. And that's kind of what steered nurture and joy a little bit, because I mean, I went into nutrition thinking I'd be a child nutritionist. And then after kind of really going through some chronic stress, I was like, wow, like well-being, nurturing yourself, nutrition, because I'm doing my dissertation right now on mental health, like stress, anxiety, because of kind of what I went through, and just realizing that you can really turn things around with what you're putting in your body, and you can help yourself in ways. So just to try and have a little pathway that, yeah, that's kind of what turned my pathway around. I've never actually
That's so
shared that,
cool.
so that's exciting. Yeah.
That's so cool. I really love so many points
Oh,
of that. Like the fact that it maybe at the start wasn't completely for yourself, but it
yeah,
then absolutely turned into being something that was a necessity for you to be able to
yeah,
continue to live a life that you want to live. That I think is so
yeah,
powerful because a lot of the time in any area of our lives, we may not have the drive or the motivation or even just like the thought pattern that allows us to see something for ourselves. But as soon as something else comes into play, whether it's a friend, your child, a grandparent, your parents, someone else needing something from you or needing support on something, you are then so much more willing to put yourself forward and do the work in order to get it done. And that's, like,
Oh,
so prevalent in so many areas for people, so I think that's, like, so cool that your whole journey started from having your child, and then actually this entire thing has now changed your life going forward and probably for the rest of your life.
isn't that great? Yeah, 100%. It's crazy, isn't it? You're Bob on the money. Yeah, it's you never know what's going to happen in your life that could just change it in an instant, really. And now this path
Absolutely.
like feels so natural now, which is very strange because I was
It's
an
so cool.
artist. I was painting. I didn't
Yeah,
this. Yeah. So
and I
yeah.
love that,
Oh.
like, it took something that was kind of traumatic, very stressful in your life to kind of demonstrate, actually, what I'm learning, what I'm putting my time into is going to change my life. It has changed it already and it will continue to change it. And like you said,
Oh.
these are the things that we put in our body that are going to change our health. And this is like so close to home for me because I picked
Oh.
up a chronic injury nearly probably 2 years ago now, and I've
Oh
been
my
trying to
God.
nurse myself back to health ever since, and it's
Oh
only in the
right.
last 12 months that I've really focused on nutrition and how the things that I put in my body actually affect me and really, like, taking notice of that, and I've become super strict with myself, probably extremely for some people, but for me,
Okay.
it's exactly enough to know that actually eating ultra processed foods does not work well with chronic pain. Doing like,
Oh
making
yeah.
choices around food that don't support my health make me feel worse in the long term, and until
Yeah.
it affected me personally, until it affected my body, I didn't really connect with that, and it's not to say that you have to connect with it in that way for it to change something for you to go forward, but I think it's just a note for people listening, for me and you, like, it sometimes does take you being personally impacted to have that change around nutrition, but it's just so cool that we now get to choose different going forward.
Yeah, and I do you know what? That's so, like, poignant what you just said because I feel like that with loads of things, like with mental health, for example, unless you've been through something, sometimes I think you can't properly, like, understand, like, really the impact. Like, I remember not really understanding what was going on with my husband until I, like, experienced things myself. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I get it now." And you can just empathize and relate to other people so much more. Even, like, with you with chronic pain, you can kind of understand the hold that it has on your life. And yeah, it's great that you're turning that around though yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, no, I think it's a difficult one that I feel like a lot of people tiptoe around when it comes to
Mm.
nutrition, when it comes to wellness, when it comes to food and the things you eat. It's so deeply personal. We all have such deep stories and emotions tied to food, tied to nutrition, tied to like this whole topic over how you should eat, what you
100%.
should eat, the way you should eat. It's so intrinsic to
Yes.
our lives, especially in the UK,
Mm-hmm.
obviously in other countries too, but we grew up around diet culture being a predominant talking point in society with our
And
mothers,
it
with our
still is.
grandmothers, and
Yeah.
it still is.
Oh.
Um, and it's just so
It drives me
interesting when,
nuts.
yeah, it's so interesting when we approach conversations like this. My first thoughts, kind of approaching you for the podcast and thinking about what we're going to talk about, is okay, this is going to be a little bit of a touchy topic. This might trigger
Mm.
some people. This might be a bit uncomfortable for some people to listen to us talk about this. But actually,
Oh,
I think it's such an important conversation to have, especially with someone like yourself who is in the process of qualifying for a degree in this. Like, that's so cool. Kudos to you. That's amazing. Like,
thank
getting
you.
to know in a deeper way what we're actually talking about is just going to be so beneficial.
I think as well, like you've hit the nail on the head there with like restrictive eating and like diet culture and food psychology is so important and it can be really damaging. And I think like especially with social media now, like I get really scared about my daughter growing up with it. I mean, my son too, but for girls especially, I think there's a lot of pressure and uh, I think like it's so important to remember like eat. to feel good as well. If
Mm,
something's healthy but makes you feel like crap, that's not good for you. Okay. So it's
absolutely.
about trying to still enjoy food as well, because it shouldn't be a punishment. It should be nourishment, like 100%.
Yes, that should be a soundbite. It shouldn't be punishment, it should be nourishment because, like, it is a weaponized thing, isn't it? Food is so
Oh,
weaponized,
100%. Yes, girl.
and
Hmm.
it can be really detrimental to our mental health when we do weaponize food
Yeah.
against ourselves, when other people weaponize food against us, when the topic is
Oh,
broached in an unsensitive way, it can be
oh,
so triggering.
get used
And
to
I'd
it.
maybe just love if you have any kind of thoughts on this to maybe touch on some kind of way. This is like completely just come to my brain, sorry. Some kind of way that
I know
if you
it's good.
are super triggered by food, if you're super triggered by
Mhm.
conversations around food, if someone is weaponizing food against you or you yourself are weaponizing food against yourself, what's maybe one tip you could give to our listeners right now that just alleviates even a little bit that kind of clamming up, like shame feeling that comes about when
Oh,
it's kind of used in that way?
oh, I hate that. That literally makes me feel sad. Because I mean, how have we got to that place in life? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Um, but I mean, there's one thing. Okay, so most of the time, if you eat chips every day, you're going to feel like crap. Okay.
Mhm.
But if you're taking care of yourself and you're trying to put nutrients into your body, go and freaking enjoy that pizza. Go and enjoy. I love a pizza once a week with the kids. Sometimes we make it, sometimes we get processed. And it's not often that we get processed food, no, but it's difficult in today's society. I think like don't punish yourself. The negative self-talk like we'd spoken about before is so bad. And
Mhm.
I think the worst thing that you can do is create um really defined boundaries, like I'm not allowed chocolate, or I'm not
Mhm.
allowed pizza, or I'm not allowed this. Because if you're cutting things out that you actually enjoy, it's going to be negative in the long run, and you'll find it harder in the long run. Whereas
Yeah.
if you just limit it and say, oh, do you know what, I'm going to have my pizza on Friday and I'm going to love that, and it'll be nourishing and it's going to be good for the soul, and I'm going to relish it, and I'm not going to feel guilty about it because I'm doing
Mhm.
good the rest of the time. It's about like really enjoying it. And also I think there's swaps that you can do. So for me,
Mhm.
for example, I freaking love chocolate. I love Maltesers. And sometimes I love a little bit of chocolate every day. So I have a little bit of dark chocolate most of the times, and then maybe a couple of days a week I have more Maltesers. Like I
Yeah.
sound so ridiculous now, but
No, not
I
abs
think
that's
I
what I
think
love this.
and I love pizza. I bloody love pizza, but cheese does nothing for my skin, but I won't quit it. I just think, yeah, it's so important to get balance, and there are like food psychologists out there, and they're a whole different league. But food psychology is so important. So, for example, if you're having meals, like eat socially, that's beneficial. But
Mm.
yeah, going back to the question, somebody's clamming up, I think a if it's a person making you feel judged in that way, who are you surrounding yourself with?
Mhm.
For one, but two, if it's you making yourself feel bad about that, then think about the behaviors maybe that you're having in life. Like I don't know, maybe going off a bit piece now, but if you know that you're taking care of yourself in other areas and you're doing your best, don't beat yourself up for having a hot chocolate, having a pizza, having some fish and chips every now and then.
Mm.
Like, you go, Glen Coco. Life is to be enjoyed at
Yeah.
the end of the day, not don't punish yourself.
Yeah.
But, nourish yourself too. There's the balance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I saw something, from I'm a big Hormozy fan. I don't know if you know Alex and Layla Hormozy. I love them. People on listening on the podcast
Oh,
might know them, but Layla said something the other day, I saw her post, that said, "If you can do your best on a bad day and make that your standard, your best days will be incredible and your bad days will be good too." So I think maybe a
yeah.
piece of that in if you are having a bad day in relation to food, weaponization in some way, feeling a little bit of shame, feeling a bit of guilt, whatever it is, what is your best for this bad day? and maybe focus on
Mm.
that rather than focusing on being perfect. And that has helped me unconsciously because
Yes.
I've never really put words to it before, but when I've been having a bad day related to anything, it's not necessarily always a spiral. Don't get me wrong. I have my spiral days, but sometimes it's it's looking at, okay, if
Yes.
my day has not gone to plan in these areas, where could I make it go even an inch more to plan? Where could I do one thing in this day that means it's a little bit better than a completely bad day? And relate
Oh,
that back
Alex,
to
I love
whatever.
that.
Yeah, it's like a really good ethos. And yeah, it was never really clicked for me before I heard that. It's so funny how like little lines sometimes will just spark
Yes.
something in you that you're like, wait, I do this. This is what words to something I do that I didn't realize I do. Yeah, so
Exactly.
maybe just make a bad day the best you can do for that bad day.
Yeah.
I love that.
Also, I think food is demonized, and
Mm,
it just I think that's something to be aware of, you know. Eh, You if you believed everything you read about red meat, you'd never eat it again in your life, okay?
yeah,
But the smell of bacon and things like that, and a lovely steak, like,
yeah.
it's it's difficult because, uh, yeah, you can scare yourself silly with what's out there, and
Mhm.
just as long as you're sensible and you're trying to nourish yourself properly, food is to be enjoyed and life is to be lived, like, for sure.
I am big on that. I am big on that. I am a food lover. I am someone that thinks about food quite a lot in terms of like, oh, what can I cook for my friends this weekend? What can I cook for my partner that's going to be fun? We can
Oh,
have a conversation over. I'm
yeah.
quite food centered. And again, relating back to like chronic pain issues and rehab and like eating for your wellness, I'm focused on food
Mhm.
in that way where it's whole foods more than processed foods, where it's, okay, where can I hydrate myself in between these meals? Things like that. And it's
Yeah.
it's one of those things where you can get so wrapped up in it that actually
Mm,
conversations like this, here and there, listening to someone talk about nutrition, following a nutritionist on Instagram or TikTok or social media or whatever, and even incorporating like a few recipes a week in will absolutely
mhm.
do the worlds? Do what's the saying? Do
It
the
will do
most?
the world.
It will do the worlds.
It will do the world.
I still don't know what that actual
Oh,
phrase is meant to be, but it will do lots of good things
the world of good.
for your week. The
It
world
will
of
do
good,
the world
that's
of
it.
good.
It will do the world of good.
Oh, bless, yeah.
That's the phrase I was looking for. It will do the world
Oh,
of good for your mental state of mind, for your physical body throughout your week. So, if you are someone that is
mhm.
maybe struggling with any element of that, there's a little piece of advice for you to integrate into your week.
And I love what you said as well about it being personal. Like, Alex, that is such a huge thing, and this is why it's so it's so difficult with the nutrition information that's out there, and what you can read and what you have access to. And again, with every single individual food group and demonization and what we've discussed already, like, it's so difficult because it's so personal. Like, what
Mm,
will be a good diet for me won't be a good diet for you, or it's very, I mean, generally, if you're eating clean and whole foods, you're pretty safe. But there will be people who are better on a little bit of low FODMAP for a while. There will be people who
mm,
do better on anti-inflammatory. It's so personal, like you said, and I think that's really important to,
yeah,
yeah, really realize. Yeah.
yeah. And even like eating for the season of life that you're in. For me right now, like I've said, I
Oh,
have to focus on
oh my
eating for my
gosh.
own wellness. This is for a season.
Yes.
It's not to say that in 3 years I can't smash a Domino's on a Saturday, but for right now, it does nothing. I'm like dairy intolerant, the wheat and stuff, like it just does no good for my health. So I have to make a conscious decision to say for this season, that's just not something I'm going to partake in because I know that come Sunday
Yeah.
morning, I am going to be like I'm going to blow up like a balloon. My joints are going to ache, like all of
Oh,
these different
bless
things that
you.
won't be beneficial for my Sunday. So I know that for this season
Yeah.
of life, this is just the kind of way I've got to eat, and this is what's going to benefit me the most. And actually, if you can come to terms a little bit with the fact that maybe this season looks a bit different than next season of life,
Oh,
it will be a bit
love
easier
that.
to be
Yes.
kind to yourself through all of this.
I am so passionate about the seasons. I was just talking to a friend of mine about this the other day because we were like, "Oh my gosh, this has been the longest winter." Has anybody else felt so? And I can't believe this is a classic one. I've been giving the kids vitamin D, and I didn't even think to take it myself, which is stupid as a nutritionist, I know. But I was like, it'll be fine. I'm getting it in my food. Damn, I've needed it. Like we haven't had
Yeah.
sunshine. There was sun in the clouds the other day, and I was like, oh, this is a sunny day.
Yeah,
It's been a long winter, and have you heard of wintering?
I have. I'm quite a fan of
So
the concept.
yes,
But
you
please
just
explain
I
it
love.
quickly for anyone that doesn't know.
Oh, so wintering is like really when you're feeling with the seasons. Like it kind of goes back to I feel like our ancestors, where in winter you really would hibernate. You would be staying in. You wouldn't be outside hunting and things. You would just be staying in, nourishing, nurturing, sleeping a lot, cozy, cozy vibes, like we want to do, but society doesn't let us. Basically, um, and I really feel like that I move with the seasons, and I've been speaking to friends about this lately, and I feel like so many of them have really related to just vibing with the seasons and feeling with the seasons. And I've really been like that. Like I think we were supposed to do this in January, and I was like, no, I am not that. I'm like I am just not
Mhm.
well. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter sometimes how much you put. It's just like you need to be in a little, yeah, nourish yourself kind of little bubble.
Yeah, little cocoon.
Got on piece there. But oh my gosh, can I also say, let's talk about woman to woman, the things that impact you in your cycle as well.
Mhm.
So sometimes the cravings that you get within your cycle make it really difficult
Yeah.
to eat strictly, and yeah,
Yeah.
that makes a huge difference in what you're feeling like eating and nourishing with.
Absolutely. And it does affect your entire month. I think we
Being.
forget, or at least we aren't super educated on the way that our cycle does affect our month, because the regular repeated narrative of the last 100 years has always been referring around a man's cycle, around everything that a man can get done in a month, everything that a man can get done in a year. And
Oh my
we are only
gosh.
just now, in probably what, the last 5, maybe 6, maybe 7 years, actually publicly speaking about women's cycles, about menstrual health, about
Yes.
wellness of a
Love it.
woman's body throughout
Hmm.
12 months, throughout her whole cycle, like the irregularities in that, and that things really aren't normal that maybe we thought were normal for so long. And it's
Yeah.
crazy that it's only now, I'm 26, only now in my later 20s am I actually learning what a cycle is. I still sometimes
Oh
can't
my
fully
god.
remember which stage I'm in. Like, but this has never been
Get the
taught to
flow
us
out.
before. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But, like, until apps like that have come about, it wasn't really a regular conversation. It wasn't really something we were educated on. It was kind of like hush hush. If you had tampons at school, like
Mm.
if you had pads at school, you were opening them really quietly in your stall so no one else could hear or like think that
Mhm.
you're on your period, things like that. And actually
Oh,
now we
yeah.
are able to talk about it more, and we are able to consider it in terms of our wellness. And is it something that you teach on as well? Is it something that you learn about in your degree? Like, I would love to know, in terms of nutrition, if that's even discussed on like a
Oh
curriculum.
my gosh. It is huge. It is huge, huge, huge. And women, so it's kind of sad, really, because, like you said, things used to be very different. But so, for example, the studies that we get our nutritional science from are often based on animals, and even in the ones in my dissertation, like so many of them are based on male animals, not female animals, and so many of the studies as well, up until like I don't even know really. I'm not going to say when because I don't know when, but I know that up until recently, it was male
Mhm,
participants were the thing for nutritional science and science
mhm.
studies. So where we're getting our nutritional information, it's not like relative to the to the broader population, because a lot of the time it doesn't take in women because we are so complicated.
Yeah.
Our hormones change throughout the cycle. Our bodies are it's so much changes, and
Yeah.
men were such a steady, stable thing to study, so
The
they would just
control,
choose to have
yeah.
male participants. Yeah, that was kind of a little bit more easy to measure. So it's exciting now that we're getting more, like with the projects like Zoe, getting more women, and other, there's a huge shift now, but like,
Mhm.
well, I don't know whether it's huge, but there's a shift now.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
um yeah, but it's so important, and women especially. So estrogen metabolism within women is, it goes through lots of different stages, and that can impact your detoxification in your liver. Like, that's just, it's very complicated. And
Mm.
I do actually have an upcoming CPD about women's hormonal health. So when I do that, I'll share whatever I learn with you.
Yes,
Yeah,
please. That would be
because we need
perfect.
our whole physiology. I just did it. Our whole physiology is so different to men's, and yeah, it's complex, and we need to be we need to be kind to
Mm.
ourselves with that as well. Be like, hey, if we crave, we crave. All right,
Yeah,
we can work out later.
absolutely.
Mhm.
And I think in terms of that, in terms of women's health specifically, it does impact vital functions. The way we eat, the way we fuel, the way we even process the things that we are eating massively
Mhm.
impact our vital functions. And for a lot of women, and I don't want to go too deeply into this, but I just want to kind of touch on it and recognize it for women that are
We could
listening.
do a whole week of this. We could do a whole other
Absolutely.
thing,
Like
yeah.
it affects fertility, it affects our periods, it
Mhm.
affects um our complete cycles, it affects the menopause, premenopause, like it affects so many
Mhm.
different stages of things that we exclusively as women with organs that function with our bodies, it affects so
Yeah.
many parts of that. And actually, if we don't have the research and the data and the things that back it up, sometimes our ailments and issues that come up around this are ignored in modern medicine. So I just want to kind of
Yeah.
promote a little push for women that have not yet explored more holistic styles of
Oh,
treatment
100%.
or
Yeah.
preventative care, or even just like looking at fueling and taking care of our bodies in different ways. If you haven't yet explored even an inch of that, I very much urge you to look at a holistic point of view and just see what it can become, like what can be available to you that's not just
Yes.
taking a pill from modern Western medicine.
Yes, thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that. That's so important. And also, there's different nutrients that would be depleted through certain areas of your cycle. And women of different ages, like, oh my gosh, we're talking perimenopausal and menopausal. What you need at those stages, nutrient-wise, I mean, oh my gosh, we can go into this another time, is so different to when you're planning
Mm,
for a baby. And then again, so different to these young girls who are just starting their periods and can be really iron
yeah,
deficient, for example. Like, oh my gosh, there's so much going on, and it's almost like you need support that will be unique to you
yeah.
throughout your lifespan as a woman, because your nutrient requirements change,
Mm.
and yeah,
And
it's
I want us
important
to
for sure.
start
And
thinking about that as an important aspect, as something that we put our hard earned money towards, quite frankly, because if we're
Mhm.
not paying for it, we are not being gifted these services. We are not being thrown them, at least in the UK, through the NHS or whatever. It's actually quite hard to get access to any of these things. So I kind of
Oh
want
my
us to
gosh, I
start,
know.
yeah, start shifting our frame of mind in terms of our monthly spending. This is like completely off the topic, but like start putting it as a tax for yourself, as a mandatory tax, that this percentage of money goes towards my longevity and my health. Because if I
Oh,
don't do it, who is going to?
mm,
We have to start taking care of ourselves. And if we can spend X
yeah.
amount of money on the kids and X amount of money on the nail appointment and X amount of money on the hair appointment, which are all good and well in their own rights, what are we going to do to take care of our insides? The thing that is keeping us going. And I just want to like
And
touch that
there's,
in there. Put money aside for
yeah.
yourself.
Love that, Alex. And there's other things that are really important to be mindful of. You just reminded me there with the nails and things. The endotoxins, so the toxins that we absorb
Mm,
from life can really mess up our hormones as well. So it's really important to be mindful of what you're absorbing externally. And when if you are kind of experiencing uh, hormonal disruption, like the basics are the place to start. So your sleep, you're eating your whole foods, cut out the caffeine, alcohol, the alcohol, oh my gosh, the
mhm,
like processed foods, like stick to your whole foods. Move your body a little bit. I think sometimes there's so much pressure on working out, working out.
mhm,
Move it a little bit. Your Pilates, you're walking
mhm,
outside. Those things can really help women in their cycle just regulate in the times when they need it most, but not the pressure to be like, I need to be eating salads and running and blah, blah, that can actually have a counterintuitive impact.
mhm.
So yeah, we're
I would
gentle
love
creatures.
We are very gentle, we are. Going from that, when we are disrupting our hormones, does that look like to you right now things that are affecting our sleep, things that affect maybe the way we're processing stuff in our bodies? Like, is that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it can come out in so many ways, and what it would look like for me might look different to you. So it could
Mm,
be mood swings, like skin issues, like just inflammation internally, like
yeah,
gut issues. Like it could come out in so many different ways. Um,
yeah.
yeah,
That's
like
so interesting.
hair loss. Yeah, I know people, even your teeth, your gum inflammation. For so many people, if you've got systemic inflammation, which that can do, so it's kind of like oxidative stress for your
Mhm.
body, which is like it just can disturb so many different things, and it's all
Yeah,
interconnected. So it can
yeah.
look different to different people.
Because I was just thinking, like, on the along the lines of things that what when we're talking about these things, what kind of symptoms or signs are your body presenting to tell you that this might be something that's going on for you to be able to go investigate it, like we were talking about, put your money where your mouth is and take care of
Mm,
yourself. I think it's just helpful to kind of touch on, okay, what does that look like? If I'm potentially having a bit of a disruption, potentially having an adverse reaction to something, what does that look like? And just touching on that, I think, is so useful because if you're not used to recognizing the signs, you wouldn't really even know what to look for in the first place. You just think everything is ticking along
yeah.
fine. But actually, maybe you do have some experience of hair loss, or maybe you do have some experience of inflammation in your joints, in other parts of yourself. And you're like,
Mhm.
wait, what's going on? But actually, maybe
Mm.
it could be something to look into, that it might be a hormone disruption issue. Maybe it's something to do with the way we're eating and fueling ourselves. Maybe it's something to do with our stress and external like environment things. So I think that's just really
Yeah.
cool to touch on.
Yeah, it is slightly outside of my scope at the moment. I'm more stressed,
All
like
good.
focused, like hormones. Yeah, but if you do want any information, I can definitely look it up properly and let you know.
Amazing. Yeah, amazing. So everyone head to Elle's page, and over the next couple of years, no doubt, as
Oh,
you're
no.
building, you will mention at least some of this. So make sure you are following along with Elle's journey as well. Um, I wanted to kind of ask you a little question on something that I saw you mention in one of your stories, or it was a reel actually. And you kind of mentioned the term like warm foods tell your nervous system that it's safe to slow
Mhm.
down. Do you have
Yeah.
more info on this? Because that triggered something in my brain. I was like, wait, I feel so comfy, so safe, like heavy and like nice and warm when I have warm food. So, do you know more
Yeah.
about that?
Oh my gosh, not massively like more than I put on that, like more just that um internally, so it's more to do with your internal sensitivity
Mm,
to the food. So when, especially at that time of year, um
mm,
this time of year, the wintering, when it is cold outside and you are taking that, I think it must go, like, I don't know the full history, but I'm assuming it must go back to like ancestral and like warming
yeah.
meat and things like that. But it's something to do with literally your whole internal digestive
Mm,
um tract is sensitive. And I
yeah.
think the warmth that goes down really triggers. to and signals. So we have the gut brain axis, and so when we are feeling warm food, it just can have a nice sensory feeling that
Mm.
can affect us in other ways. Yeah, I don't know
I
the
love that.
mechanisms.
That's so
Yeah.
okay. I think it was just so interesting. I heard you mention it. I thought, I'm gonna just ask a question on this. That's so cool.
Aw.
And I kinda wanted to go really, really quickly into kind of like
Mhm.
your holistic lifestyle and what that looks like for you in terms of, is this something when we say holistic lifestyle, when we talk about wellness, is this something that is actually achievable for people? And what does
Oh my
that look
gosh.
like for you?
I think perfection isn't achievable. That's one thing. I think there's such an I think wellness on social media gets presented as one thing, and it's maybe not that, it's actually that. And this is like this picture perfect thing when actually it's just daily habits that make you feel good. And I think one thing that's super super important to note about wellness is it's not about food and movement alone. Like 100%, I can be eating all the right things and I could be moving my body, but if I am stressed, if there's external things going on, if the other if the other holistic wellness pillars are not intact, then it can still be shaken up, so
Mm,
it's not like a strive for perfection. It's just about trying to think like, right, emotionally, where am I at? Spiritually,
mhm,
where am I at? What's my community like? What's my environment like? What's my nutrition like? What's my movement like?
mhm.
And am I doing things in those areas that make me feel good? I think that's kind of more what wellness is, rather than this like eating salads, drinking matcha tea, and doing Pilates every day. Although I do love those things, but that doesn't
Yes.
make you a well person.
Yeah,
I I think it's a lot more complicated than that, yeah.
I love that.
Did I answer that
And if
question?
Yeah, no, I think you did. And, like, if someone wanted to integrate one thing into their week that would get them a step closer to feeling like a well person, feeling like they are on track for a healthy lifestyle, for a holistic lifestyle, what would be, like, your top thing to say, "If you integrate this thing, it's going to slowly trickle down and affect areas of your life?"
It's so difficult because it depends on that person's daily schedule. Because I was
Yeah.
speaking to somebody the other day, and she is a full-time mom, and I mean, she is a mom, but she works full-time. And I was speaking to her about like how she nourishes herself, and the only time she literally has for herself where she's not completely exhausted is the weekend. It's like, wow, how do you speak to that woman and say, take a minute
Mm.
out of your day to do this, that, or the other? It is really hard. It is really difficult when people are busy. That is one thing that I am passionate about trying to help.
Mhm.
But I think it is the little things. So when you are cooking food, so there are quick and easy, healthy meals. You don't have to put something in the microwave that's processed, or, you can nourish yourself with better foods that are quick. That is one quick thing that you can do. Some simple food swaps, for example. Um, when you're nourishing yourself, when you get the time, snacking on healthier foods. So throughout the day, if you can't change your lifestyle, change the little bits and bobs that you're eating. Change
Mm.
those foods that are maybe causing inflammation, reduce those. So that's one little thing. But equally, I would say try and move your body, even if it's just, I'm gonna I'm gonna go for a 5-minute walk outside, because we are meant to be in nature. We weren't ever meant to be sat at a desk. Like so many
Mm.
issues, especially in the Pilates, that you see from people with the postural issues because
Mm.
we've been sat like this, which we
You're
were
speaking
never
to me right
designed
now.
to do. We're like, do some Pilates, let's do some back exercise.
Mm.
So there's so many things that oh, actually that is one. If you're sat at a desk, you can do some Pilates exercises for your back,
Ooh,
for your posture. But yeah, it's a tricky one. Just try and get outside in nature
yeah,
as much as you
that's
can.
huge.
Try and move your body. Yeah. And even if you have 5 minutes at the end of the day to just, I'm going to do like 5 minutes quick Pilates. And if that's all you do every day, it will mount up. It's the little things that you do every day rather than like
Mm,
create yourself a weekly schedule that's intense. And
yeah,
little swaps with the food makes such a huge difference. Eat breakfast. Okay. Eat regularly,
preach.
people. Yeah.
Absolutely preach. I love that. I think, one thing that I find in my week that I do, and it's never super noticeable at the time, but I like to call it, like, bringing myself back to earth. So after a day, like,
Yeah.
working on my laptop all day, like, talking to people online, whatever, whatever, messaging people online, posting stories, reels, YouTube videos, whatever it is, I've been so out in
Mhm.
the ether that I've not really touched base with my present feet in the world. So sometimes I actually just like to look out the window. Like, even if I
Aw,
am not going outside at that present moment, but, like, literally just look out the window, look at the birds, look at the clouds. Where's the sun? Is it setting?
that's
Is it rising?
amazing.
Just have a look out of my window and sit there 5 minutes and just let
Oh.
my brain relax a little bit and remind myself that I'm just a little human wandering around this
Mm.
big earth, and there's a whole world out there that is not attached to my screen. So I
Yes,
love that one.
and what you can do as well, that's a great one. That is a great one to bring yourself back to. I thought you were gonna say about journaling and mindfulness, like gratitudes,
Oh, I love that,
daily
dude. I
gratitude.
love that, dude.
That's a good one. Um, but also grounding is
Mm.
so good. Obviously, we are not in the season for it right now because you just get your feet wet. But if when we've got some drier days, if you are working from home, just go out and step outside. The power
Mm.
that it can have. Just listening to the birds. If you are in a space where you can just go outside and stand and listen to the birds, will lower your cortisol because if birds are around, no predators are around, right? So it
Mm.
will naturally lower your cortisol and
Oh,
your
wow, I didn't
stress.
know
So
that's why.
yeah,
That's so
yeah.
cool.
So you should internally be like, oh, they're singing, no predators, we're safe.
That's so
Yeah,
cool. I love that. I
I
love that.
love that.
That's like so there's like it's always the really small, unnoticeable habits that actually
um,
make a difference. And like you said a minute ago,
listen to the
we
birds.
think
Yeah,
it's the perfectionism, we think it's the going to 10 a.m. Pilates class, followed by your matcha with the girls,
I
followed
will do
by a
that,
shopping
but
spree. Yeah, and those things are amazing. But if it's not
no.
accessible to you every day of every month of every year, then enjoy it
Yeah,
when it is accessible, but implement some of these little things that will compound to make a difference. And I chat about compounding effect till the cows come home because it is so important and it is so
yeah,
life changing when you actually allow things to compound and have effect and do the minute changes that will have macro changes. I will talk about it and talk about it and
yes.
talk about it again until I'm blue in the face. I'm throwing in all the phrases
Mhm.
today. It's just so life changing. And if we can encourage you to do even one of these things, whether it's have a bit of dark chocolate instead of the super ultra processed one every
Yes.
day, whether it's eat a Brazil nut for some, I think it's called selenium. Maybe I might be getting that completely wrong. Whether
Yes,
it's
no, yeah, it is. Well
yeah,
done.
whether it's looking out the window for 5 minutes or going out and grounding your feet, even if it is wet, if you feel like it, just adopting
Yes.
even one of these habits as manageable as it is in your week, in your month, and noticing
Yeah.
actually, this is something I always come back to, noticing that you're doing that. Not just doing it and like letting it fly out your
Mhm.
head, actually having a moment with yourself and go, I've done that. I've made that effect in my
Mhm.
life today. You can move on with the rest of your day
Yeah.
after that. But if we don't notice that we are putting time and effort into these things, we'll look around and say, well, nothing's changed. When actually, oh, I've
Yeah.
been spending 2 weeks looking out the window here and there. I've been spending the last month here and there going like and grounding myself. I've actually been on 4 walks this month where I would have been on
Yeah.
maybe one previously. And noticing that you're
Yes,
doing these
exactly.
things, it makes such a change
Mhm.
because you feel like you're making progress. It becomes slightly addictive. You want to do it more because it's
Yeah.
like that tick list, like dopamine, like I've done it, I've done it, I've done it. You get the gratifying feeling. I
Yes.
love that.
Making a note of these little wins for sure. That's such a good idea. Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, yay.
Do you have any other tips that you're at the top of your tongue? Like, I want to make sure I slide this tip in this episode, or do you feel like pretty complete in that? Do you feel like you've given your biggest tip?
Oh my gosh, Alex. I I love culinary medicine. So
Mm.
any tips that I can give, like to do with food, like that is my passion, because I feel like those are the teeny things that we can do that can make a big difference. So, for example, okay, let's think about a couple off the top of my head. So, if you chop garlic, for example, and leave it for a little bit. So it's I think it's called Allison something. Oh my gosh, I could be wrong. Like Alan. There's a compound called Alan, I think. Oh my gosh, am I getting this
We'll
right? Yeah,
fact
I
check
think
this
it's
if
called
it's wrong.
Alan.
We'll add it in the show
But it
notes.
basically, when you yeah, when you leave garlic out for just even 5 minutes after you've chopped it, the allicin turns into an enzyme called allicin, and that's like hugely anti-inflammatory. So, and you
Mm.
don't get that if you throw it in the pan straight away. So if you just chop that and
Oh.
leave it for a little bit, then put it in the pan, then you'll get it, or like then you eat it or add it to your bit, then you get your enzyme, your allicin, that's really a great anti-inflammatory. Also, there's other things like, oh my gosh, vegetables are complicated. So broccoli, for example. I know, I love food. So broccoli, if you eat it raw, it can actually block the absorption of many minerals, like I think copper and iron and zinc, I want to say. I could be wrong, it could be calcium. But it blocks the mineral absorption, and also it competes for iodine with, so that can impact thyroid health. So what you want to do, but it also has I think it's called oh shoot, what is it called? Do I know what it's called? Have I got it somewhere? Let me look
Take a
at
sec. You can let your brain work. Don't worry.
it. Okay. Oh, sulforaphane. I knew I'd forget that. I jotted that word down because I was like, I'm going to forget sulforaphane. So you've got this spot. So you've got sulforaphane, which is sensitive to heat, and that's like again an antioxidant, which is incredibly good for you, anti-inflammatory. So you've got this sweet spot where broccoli doesn't like to be eaten raw, but it doesn't like to be too hot. So if you
Mm.
steam it or saute it just gently, you get the best benefits from that broccoli and nutrients rather than like, and it's that way with so many of them. Like with tomatoes, you get a higher lycopene, I think, if it's cooked rather than raw.
Mm.
Um, yes, also, so if you eat healthy fats with fat soluble vitamins, so like your A, your K, your E. That's beta carotene, for example, from vitamin A. That's so in your sweet potatoes, your squash,
Mm.
things like that. If you've had that with, say, like walnuts or avocados or avocado oil or olive oil, your healthy fats, they will help your body like absorb the nutrients from those foods.
Ooh.
That's like food synergy, and that's the type of thing that like really excites me. And then
That's
there's
so cool.
phytates as well. I've got another fact as well about pumpkin seeds, but after that, so there's phytates in like like I love food. So in legumes, for example, like lentils, the reason why it's good to soak them is because you have the phytates, which again can impact nutrient absorption. Um, so if you soak them for like 8 to 12 hours, like that's reduced, and then you get like better nutrients from that. But pumpkin seeds, let me tell you, I learned this recently. What do you think, Alex? Okay, has a higher protein content? Salmon, steak, or pumpkin seeds per 100 gram?
I think I'm gonna go with the pumpkin seeds. Before it probably would
You're
have been the
right,
steak.
girl.
My first guess
I
without the
know.
pumpkin seeds would have been the steak.
Yes.
That's
Yes, so
crazy.
yeah, so per 100-gram pumpkin seeds actually have higher protein than steak. So yeah, I think
Oh my god.
this is what I say about like these assumptions that people make about foods. But yeah, we've
Yeah.
got it all around us. But yeah,
Well, that is a fun fact I'm taking to my next pub quiz because what? What do you
yes,
mean pumpkin
I
seeds
know.
have more? That's crazy. I can't believe how much that
I
shocked me.
sprinkle them everything. Yeah,
No,
look
yeah,
it up. Check
absolutely.
it out.
Is that like a perfect brand? Well, I say perfect. Is there a good brand of pumpkin seeds? Because let me go grab some and start munching on some pumpkin seeds with my meals.
Ooh, that is a good one. Oh my gosh, what is the one I have in the cupboard? I always buy them. Let me go and get them. Oh
Go
no,
for
I
it.
just threw them.
Oh.
But I may have them. Let me go. Oh, 2 seconds.
Absolutely fine.
Okay, no, I've thrown them out already. Darn
That's okay.
it!
I love the commitment to the cause.
I know. I'm like, I'm going to show you the package. It's the green one with the trees. Damn it, I can't remember the brand. But one thing I would say is it can be costly, but it is beneficial to buy organic. You know that those products have been nurtured and grown right. You know that there's no nasties in it, and especially with those nutrients that are like small but with a massive impact. I always buy organic with my seeds and nuts because it's just
Hmm,
so important. Is like just to throw on any meal, but so beneficial the nutrients in them. Yeah,
that's such a
I
good
will
tip.
get that brand for you though.
If there was like a regular shopping basket for a regular family with some young kids and some slightly older kids, I don't know, what three
Oh,
organic things, whether it's a vegetable, whether it's a tin something, whether like what three organic things would you say if you could just make these three swaps, that would be maybe the most beneficial swaps you could make to organic?
I am literally so glad you asked that question because that is like just such a good question. Because there is actually a website. So there's a company, I can't remember, an organization, I should say. I think they're American, and they call it the Dirty Dozen.
Oh,
And this is something everybody should know and everybody should look at. And they have the clean 15, I think, and the dirty dozen. So they will give you the information about what you should be shopping that is organic at that time, because they do research into what the top 12 products are that have been found with the highest amount of pesticides and
wow.
toxins in them. So those are the things to buy organic, basically, whatever that is. And if you can go on the Dirty Dozen and you will
Hmm.
find it. If you are conscious about your health and you know if it's expensive to buy
Hmm.
organic. I get it. Like you can't do it. Food at the moment is ridiculous anyway. Like
Yeah.
it costs so much to eat healthy. It really does. It's not right, and it something should shift. But it's immoral as well that organic costs so much money. But
Yeah.
just to eat something that hasn't been tampered with and put
Process.
crap into it,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but if you look at the Dirty Dozen, so I think at the moment it was like spinach, off the top of my head, I think peppers, can't remember, broccoli, cucumber. So I've been buying those organic.
Mm.
Um, that will drive my organic. And then if you look at the clean 15, that will
Mhm.
show you the fruits and veg that are likely to be lower in
Mm.
pesticides and toxins. So that's
I've never heard of
often the
that.
ones with. Haven't you? Oh my gosh,
No,
it's
that's
so
so
important. Yeah,
cool.
it's so good. Yay. So those are often the ones with skins though, as you can imagine. So like
Yeah.
your mangoes, they're often in the clean 15, and um yeah, pineapple. But I think that was like last month. So keep
Mhm.
updated with that. That would be my one thing.
I'm
Yeah.
absolutely going to integrate that. That is so useful. Yeah, I've never heard of that before. So that's so good. I'm hoping and I'm praying that is going to help a lot of people. Those are some good tips.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you wanted to sneak in, or do you feel complete in that?
Not off the top of my head.
All good. That is, yeah, they were
Yeah.
incredible tips, to be honest. You really delivered on that one. So
Oh.
I just didn't want to cut you off if you were like, oh, I just had
Oh.
one more thing. But that's all good and perfect. I kind of wanted
Oh.
to
This is all
move in.
nutritional. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, no, no. That's okay. If there was anything Pilates based that you wanted to do as well, you're welcome to.
Just our body, just our back stuff.
Yes. Do you have a video of this on Instagram? Because I would appreciate one. If I could make a little request, I
I
would love a
do.
video.
Okay.
That would
Right,
really
I
help
will
me.
record one tomorrow for you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, that is such a good idea. I almost recorded one the other day, but I was like, "I don't know what I'm doing half the time."
Oh, no, that
So
would
I
be so
didn't.
cool if you did have something in your repertoire that would help us girlies that are just like
Fantastic.
little grooves. Is it Groot or Groot? Who's the guy from that does this? He's like in a kids animated show. Anyway, completely by the by.
Oh, I know who you mean, of, Fantastic Four or something.
Something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
great.
But yeah, we're all like hunched up like little maybe prawns would be a better a better description, like little prawns. But I wanted to shift
Oh,
gears a little bit into
okay.
kind of a bit more beyond thoughts. What does it look like in your world living with thought patterns, living with conditioned behaviors? Like, do you feel like
Ooh.
you are at a stage right now in this season where you're living a life beyond thoughts, or if a life with thoughts is the kind of predominant theme? And if you are living a life beyond thoughts, what kind of drove you to get there?
Oh my gosh, are you really talking about healing and, like, being a fully healed, fine person? Is that kind of what beyond thoughts is?
So when I talk
Um,
about beyond thoughts, it's
so
kind of like, oh no, 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 you carry on. You take it however you
no,
you want
you
to go.
go. No, 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 tell me.
No, I was going to just say
Tell
like
me.
beyond thoughts, I think everyone obviously has their negative thought patterns and behaviors and things like that. But I say a
Mm,
life beyond thoughts when you are aware and conscious that those things, those spiral habits and
mm,
things happen, but you are at a current stage
mm.
where you are able to move past them and continue to live your life beyond having those thoughts.
Ooh, I love that. Okay, yeah. So, wow, I think I might actually be there. Yeah, I think if anything, I'm probably too self-aware and too
Mm,
self like critical and analytical. But I definitely think I am able to catch myself in thoughts more, and I'm like, right, I'm spiraling, right, I'm anxious, and then why? What's going on? What am I around? What's been going on lately? Maybe I didn't get enough sleep. I think with our thoughts, it's really common and easy to like judge them when they come. So if you're feeling
mm,
anxious, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm anxious. But I think if you're like, I'm anxious and that's okay today because you know what, I've been through this, this, and this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 4 breaths in, 6 breaths out, 4 breaths in, 6 breaths out. I'm going to do 5 minutes Pilates. I'm going to spend some time outside. I'm going to eat something that nourishes me and something that makes me feel good. Like little bits and bobs that just like get you out of that place. Um, yeah, I do think that probably comes a little bit through growth, and growing is hard and it's icky and it's sticky, and I'm definitely still
mm.
in the icky sticky growing phase at 36. Am I 35? No, I'm 35. At 35, yeah, I think having 2 kids, going through something traumatic, kind of like learning and growing as you go, like you, I think the sooner you realize nobody's perfect and don't put yourself up against that, like everybody's going to be going through something. I mean, like, oh my gosh, there's something like 300 million people have anxiety alone in the world in any year. So it's like there people go through stuff, and
Mm,
yeah, I think a life beyond thoughts is just trying to acknowledge them, and if they don't help you, try and do whatever you can that helps you deal with those thoughts. If they're damaging, like there's nothing like go and reach for therapy, go and reach for whatever helps you. It's hard. Like the world is a hard place, like it's it really is. And we have so much chronic stress, and that can impact people so much more than I think we realize. Um, and then there's people who are kind of on the treadmill and don't even maybe realize until like their body tells
mm.
them. So it's like, yeah, I think did I answer that? But my life beyond thoughts is like, yeah, just having the trying to acknowledge things rather than judge the thoughts. Like just, hey, it's okay. I'm feeling this right now. Let's work through it.
I think that's so
Did I answer that
powerful.
right?
Yeah. No, you absolutely did. You absolutely did. I love the Acknowledge but don't judge. I think that's something that, at least for me in meditation, I have to take that very seriously. I have to just
Mm.
acknowledge the fact that I'm having thoughts rather than judge them, evaluate them and analyze them and just be able to let them go. That is a really prominent practice for me in meditation, but it's maybe not necessarily something I take in other areas of my life. I don't necessarily always stop and think, that's a thought I've had maybe in business. And instead of judging that thought of, let's say it's a thought over my content that day or my productivity that day or whatever,
Oh,
instead of just
it's so
acknowledging that
hard.
I've had that thought and letting it go, sometimes I do like actively judge that thought and put it against this thing and this thing, and whether it's higher in this value or like I forget that I can take that practice elsewhere and use that same
Yeah.
thing. So I love that.
You should give yourself some credit because if I was as wise as you at 26, like I'd be soaring through the sky right now. Like you should be very proud of yourself.
That's so kind. Thank you. Yeah, no, I love that. There was something else in there that you said, and it triggered something, and I think I've lost it for a second. Let me just
Oh,
think about what you said.
I
Sorry, I
can't
do this
remember
quite a
what you
lot. You'll get used to it.
said. That's
um,
fine. It's nice. I wish I knew what I said.
it was along this same line of like acknowledging your thoughts and letting them go, and like the world is hard, and you kind of just have to allow
Mm.
that to happen, but also treat yourself with kindness. It will come back to me in a minute, but for right now, I think it's gone. But yeah, no, I
Oh,
really liked your kind of philosophy, I'll say, around that, the way you're kind of approaching living a life where you get to just recognize that these things happen and they don't have to have incredible meaning. They can just be what they are and you continue on with your day. I think that's really powerful. I think we forget to do that quite a lot.
honestly, I am a work in progress. I can't say that enough. Like, there is no such thing as perfection, and wellness doesn't mean like you're this Zen boho thing. It's like wellness is just trying to do your best in each of the pillars at any one time. It's like life is hard, yeah, like we said, and you just got to show up and do your best. And one thing, actually, I think it was Mel Robbins or something like that. Just get up and try and think about something that you're grateful for because it's so easy. Your cortisol's high when you wake up, right? So you wake up and
Mm,
you're like, oh my gosh. And especially if you didn't sleep. I didn't sleep well last night. So you wake up and be like, ugh. So if you can get yourself up and be like, oh my gosh, I'm grateful for, holy moly, I've got another day. I'm grateful for,
mm,
oh my gosh, the kids, they might be screaming, but at least I have them and they're healthy. And, I'm grateful for, oh, some rain, so the grass is getting watered. Like,
yeah.
just try and think about things that are great because it really does change your
Mm,
mindset, and that is so hard in this day and age. Limit negative news exposure, people.
absolutely.
Even I think like six, isn't it like six? Even 1 minute can of negative news can like impact you for 6 hours after, or something
Mm,
crazy like that. I think, yeah, what you surround yourself with is so important.
yeah. And as a politics student, I am so in myself knowledgeable about politics and the world and relations between different nations, things like that. And I still limit myself as to what media I consume because I know what media is designed to do, and that is to
Mm,
polarize you. And that is all good and well for the media companies, but for us in ourselves, in our personal journeys, in what we believe in, what we think is moral, what we believe in our politics, it is very heavily impacted. And if you aren't aware of that, it can change your day. But if you
yeah.
start to become a little bit aware of the kind of media you're consuming, and it's not to say completely shut down and never look at a piece of news again, never stay connected with the world, never have a political opinion or a moral basis. Absolutely not. I'm a big advocate for knowing your rights, voting, all those good things. But I don't connect with the news every day. I trust that
Mhm.
some pieces of news will find their way to me just by virtue of existing in the world. and other things can be let go until a point
Mm,
where I need to connect with it in whatever sense that is. But yeah, negative news and news cycles are designed to hook you and impact you and keep you watching. They're not really meant to inform you. They really are meant to
mm,
sensationalize and trigger you so that you continue to consume their outlet, their platform, their video, whatever. So I think, yeah, I love that. Just like be a little bit conscious about how much
mm.
you are connecting to negative news cycles and things like that. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it is. And we were never meant to be like on tap, I put
Mhm.
my phone sometimes, often now, like on do not disturb in the day. And if my kids are at school, school is in the list and, the important people. But apart from that, it's like,
Mm.
you don't need to be at everybody's beck and call. You were never meant to be that. We weren't supposed to be, you're allowed to just go through your day and like feel the day a little bit more.
Absolutely. And I remembered what it was that triggered my brain earlier, and it was
Oh,
related to
you
Pilates.
did!
Yes. I
Yeah.
wanted to quickly ask you, as a Pilates instructor, in terms of thought patterns, living a life beyond the thoughts you're having, acknowledging, recognizing, and letting go of these thoughts. How would you say Pilates in particular can kind of creep into this and maybe benefit us with some of its practices, with wellness practices, with nutrition practices, like whatever it is you kind of want to speak to on that? Where do you think the things that you teach on, you're learning about, you're demonstrating and living a life with, how do you think that kind of creeps
Mm.
into thoughts?
Oh, oh. Oh, Alex, I started to feel like, oh, I know the answer to this, and then the more you talked, I was like, oh, shoot, it's getting in depth now. Um,
You can take it back. That's absolutely fine.
um, yeah, Pilates is absolutely brilliant for mental well-being and just
Mhm,
connecting with yourself. And I've got two different ones right now because there are people who want to do Pilates to work out and get a peachy butt. So we got that
mhm,
class. That's like Power Pilates. And then you've got the actual practice of Pilates, which is so fantastic for example, your breath is connected to your movement with Pilates. So you inhale, exhale with the effort and engagement. So with that very breath movement connection, you are teaching your brain that your body is safe and your nervous system is able to still and reset because you are breathing and you are moving in sync with your body.
mm,
So that is such a huge one. Um, and it just naturally de-stresses you again with the breath, with the movement, with the very fact that you are muscle training essentially, and that's great for your mitochondria, for so these are your energy cells in your body, and for so many other things like osteoporosis, joint health. Like it is so fantastic, Pilates. And it's crazy because so many of my clients actually say when they leave, they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know whether I wanted to come to class today. Or you can never be like sure when you're like, I gotta go to class. But everyone's always like, oh my gosh, I feel so relaxed. Like they're in their head at the beginning, but it's kind of like you can't be in your head worried about this, that, and the other because you're focusing on your breath, you're focusing on this, you're focusing on your alignment, like your body awareness. And just that brings you back to the present. And that mindfulness practice is so, so important. Like Pilates is such a wonderful, like, I think it gets this perception online as being something, and it's actually such a wonderful, like, whole, it's almost like a yoga, I think. Like, it is kind of like that in strengthening alignment, like precision, like, where is your body in space and time? Like, if you could do it with your eyes closed, it's actually really difficult. And yeah, it's an exciting practice because it's so beneficial and it really brings you home to yourself. And I always end my classes with I get everybody to lie down, close your eyes, and we do a little bit of like 5 minutes, like, all right, guys, let's connect. Let's think about how hard you worked.
mm,
Let's think about the muscle you built, and yeah, and what you've improved on your development, like whether it was flexibility, whether it was like balance, yada yada. So many benefits, and even like the leg exercises, like will help you in your
mm,
posture, like especially longevity wise. for years. It's such a lovely practice. Yeah, I really enjoy it. And it was never what I like over a year ago. I would have never thought I was doing this. And I've always loved doing it and never thought I could teach. And then now I'm like, oh, actually, I love this. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah, I'm really passionate about it, and there's nothing better than teaching a class and like having people go, "Oh my gosh, I was stressed, I was in my head, and then at the end being like, "Oh, I was so," and it's like, "Oh, that is just like there's nothing better than that." Yeah,
I
and
love
it's
that, and I
hard for
love that
men.
feeling. Yeah.
The men in class are like, I'm like, "Yeah, boy, go on, put your money where your mouth is." I think people there's this
Absolutely.
perception it's a female thing, but yeah, it's actually very difficult
No, 100%.
because your
I'm
body is not
always
yeah.
severely humbled when I go to a Pilates class, a yoga class. It does when it involves just me holding my body in one position. I am so severely
Yeah.
humbled every time. I can push this amount in the gym and do this amount of cardio and this and that. And then someone asks me to hold a downward dog or hold a plank or do a glute bridge and hold it. And I'm like, wait, this is hard.
Yeah. This is your body. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. Yeah.
It's so
But
cool though.
like wonderful. Yeah. When you really think about it and appreciate what you're doing and just
Mm,
the practice and yeah, it's
yeah.
like I do. Yeah, it's wonderful.
And I think it's, for me at least, me personally, it is such an addictive feeling to go to a class
Mm,
for that 5 or 10 minutes at the start or at the end where you get to be present and connect with yourself in that way. I realize that's what brings me back to my classes. It's not how much I
oh,
sweat or what my body looks like after or before or this, that, and the other. It's the 5 or 10 minutes that I breathe. Didn't realize how much my body
hmm.
craved breathing that day. And I
Yeah.
connect. And it's that like centering and that peace that brings me back. And I think if someone hasn't noticed that in their pattern of like craving a class like that, maybe it's actually the breathing, maybe it's the centering yourself and going and giving that to
Mhm.
yourself is the part that makes you want to do it more. I love it.
And permission to just give yourself an hour. Like,
Mm,
you don't, even if I was to do that at home, like often if I do Pilates at home or if I go in the gym, the kids are in and out, and it's like you're working with them, and it's like, hey, can you get off that? Or that, like, I've got my daughter like climbing over my back while I'm doing things. It's like you rarely get to go somewhere to a setting and just take an hour for yourself where you can just, oh my gosh, I'm
mm,
here on the mat, this is all it's about right now. It's me,
mm,
my body on the mat, and that's it. There's nothing else that
mm.
you need to think about or worry. It's your breath, your body. And that's like, this is your home, you know? This is where you are. This is what you need to be taken care of. I
Yeah,
just love it. Yeah.
that's so good.
Come to class.
Absolutely, absolutely. I kinda wanna keep
Now we know
going
your
on this,
clothes.
like no, absolutely. I wanna keep going on this kind of personal element for you and kind of speak to purpose. I love chatting about purpose with my guests because I think it's something that we all at one stage or another kinda get torn up in. What's my purpose in this life? Who am I? What do I want? Like, these kind of things. And I kinda just wanna know your perspective on this. Do you believe in purpose? If you do you feel like you found your purpose? Do you feel like you're on a path for it? Do you not believe in purpose?
Oh my gosh. I definitely believe in purpose, for sure. Um, there's so many aspects to it, I think. It's like, what's your purpose as an individual? Because oh my gosh, like it's such an in-depth question, really, isn't it? Like, if you said professionally, what's my purpose? I would say, right, well, my professional purpose for Nurture and Joy is really to empower people and educate people and help people. And eventually, like, ultimately, that is just to provide a platform that helps people, like gives them the control of their health and their wellness back, gives them the
Mm,
education to um make informed decisions for themselves or inspires them to cook healthy things in the kitchen. That's something I'm super passionate about, actually. Like, I think we've lost the art of, like, we were scientists and artists in the kitchen. Like, that's our ancestors. That's who we were. We've lost that. Like, we do ding ding meals and air fryers now. Like, we used to love, like, we we learned to smoke food once upon a time, you know? Like, I'm super passionate about that. And I love when I go to like a really good restaurant and you taste something and you don't know how they made it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. But so that's my purpose with that. My purpose with me is something I think a lot more complicated. Like, I think I put my purpose as being a good mom to the kids. Um, like, they are my world. I'm gonna try not to cry.
Oh,
Try not to get emotional. But yeah, they are my world. But equally, that's probably quite unhealthy to be like, they are my purpose. There's something like, I think if there's anything missing, it's me finding the link in myself. Like, what is my purpose outside of my kids and my work? Like, what is my purpose in me? And it's probably to find like inner peace and happiness um and to be I think purpose for other people, yeah. Purpose for my children, yeah. Um Purpose to maybe live a life that's fulfilling, but also brings light to other people. I think that's probably what
mm,
we all should be on a way to doing. And it's
yeah.
hard to be kind to people sometimes because people can be douchebags. But you
Yeah.
know, I think we're all on a little journey of our own to find like inner peace, I guess. I don't know. It's a really difficult one, and I think it changes. But I think if you'd have asked me that like a couple of years ago before I went through something quite significant, I'd have been like, "What? I don't know what my purpose is. Like, I have no idea." And now I
Mm,
think like the more you learn and grow, I think the more you realize, okay, it's a bit deeper. I'm getting a bit deeper, and I
yeah.
think I think that's yeah, you know.
I love that. I think that's such a quote unquote perfect
What's
answer. Like,
yours? Is it?
uh,
Oh yeah.
yeah, no, I feel like that's such a real answer because it's a bit of everything. It's I found maybe a
Mhm.
path in this, I found maybe a path in that. Maybe this path I've not found so much, but I'm looking to explore and deliver more in that. I think that's such a real answer because not that there's any right or
Aw.
wrong answer with this, but it feels like a very truthful one. It feels like that really came from the heart. So I really love that. For me and my
Oh.
purpose, again, I'm 26. I feel like my mind changes with the wind. My purpose
And
and the
that is
reason for
okay.
being, yeah, and like what's on the agenda for this year, and like it all changes so
Mhm.
rapidly that I think my purpose right now is just to be Alex in whatever iteration of Alex that is. I don't have any
Oh,
dependents. I don't have anyone relying on me that's not just my partner that like have a beautiful, perfect relationship, perfect being quote unquote, as always. Um,
aw.
and I don't
That is
really
something
have
to
to,
be celebrated.
yeah, but like, I don't really have anyone else depending on me in the way that mums do, in the way that people with parents that are dependent on them do. I don't really have that right now. So for me, my purpose is quite selfish in maintaining my own joy, focusing on my happiness and things. And I think that's just perfect for this season. And I try not to put too much emphasis, I think, on my purpose right now because I know it's ever
Mm,
changing and I kind of just have to respect that in this season of life, which
yeah.
is very hard to do. It's very hard not to attach
Yes.
meaning to everything. And it's very hard not to compare, especially at this stage of life. Like when I was 18, I was comparing myself. At 23, I was comparing myself.
Mhm.
Here at 26, I'm comparing myself. And I'm sure it's going to be a constant battle for many years to come over learning that my place in the world, in my path, in my job, in my career, in my life, in my relationship,
Mm.
whatever, right where I am right now is where I'm meant to be. And I think that's really hard. But I think
Alex.
it's something that, yeah, I love talking about. I love like sharing with people because
Yeah.
we do kind of feel like if that person over there is doing this thing, that must be the purpose. That must be what we're all meant to do. If this
Oh
person
my
over
gosh.
here is doing this thing, wait, that's cool. Like maybe that's
Mm.
my purpose, but actually bring it back in a little bit. Feel into you right here, right
Oh.
now. What are you doing and what is making you happy?
Alex, that is literally so powerful and so profound. And I really think like you need to give yourself more credit for if somebody asked me when I was 26 what your purpose was, I was like, I am boozing. And no, actually, I think I was married at that point, but like
Yeah.
I think you need to give yourself credit. And it's also okay for your purpose to change, A,
Mm.
and B, oh my gosh, comparison. Like, oh, it is the worst thing that you can do, and you can take it right throughout your whole entire life. And that's something like for me when I'm starting my own business and thing that has been challenging. Like you said, it's difficult not to compare yourself to other people. Like, and I remember when I set it up originally, or like was thinking about becoming a Pilates instructor as well as the nutrition, because for me in my head I'm like, I see this brand, I see how it can go together. And
Mm.
I'm like, oh, Jamie Oliver didn't say, oh, I'm not going to be a chef because Gordon Ramsay is, right?
Yeah.
And I have a friend who, oh my gosh, my friend said to me the other day, what did she say? She was like, Elle, your superpower is you, and there is nobody else like you. So, Alex, your superpower is you, and there is nobody else like you. And that just filled my cup because I was like, yes, like I think sometimes we forget to look at ourselves and appreciate us as individuals because we're too busy saying, oh, well, she's this, or he's this, or they're doing that, and da da da. And if you look at that, that's noise. This is what my friend said as well. She's gonna love this when she sees this. But yeah, it is noise. And really what we need to remember is like there is no other Alex. There is no
Mm.
other Alex doing Alex Beyond Thoughts. There's no other me. And the things that make us unique are the things that make us us. And I think the one thing that can be hard is when we lose our intuition. And you're already doing meditation, that's fantastic. So if you can like ground yourself and right, listen to your gut, what feels right, who am I surrounding myself with, what decisions am I making that don't sit tight with me, that don't feel right, listen to that, and you'll find your path, you'll find your way, and you'll find your way to the things that make you happy.
I love that. That felt really like a warm hug. I loved that so much. That was so good. That was so good.
Oh,
I loved every moment of that.
you are
Thank
your superpower.
you. That is another key tagline for this podcast. You are your superpower. I love that. Amazing. Okay, let's switch
Now
out
can
of
we
the
talk
heavy.
about the summer I turned pretty?
Yes, I wanted I said to Al before we start recording that I wanted to finish off, like wrap up with something fun. What is it you're reading or watching or finding fun outside of your industry or your work? I want you to tell us all about it.
So I am a huge country music fan. Like I am obsessed with country music.
I
I
love
have been to
this.
C2C so many times. Like me and my husband were like, oh my gosh, we're gonna like make boards of all the people we've seen. Like obsessed with. I'm obsessed with live music. I used to be in a band once, by the way.
Oh,
But
wow.
I'm obsessed with music. Yeah, especially country music. So that's my thing. But nature, being out in nature, like that's the thing that fills my cup. I read Let Them Theory and self-help books, um, play the piano, do a bit of painting.
I love
But
it.
the summer I turned pretty, there is nothing that filled my cup more than the summer I turned pretty. And we were so late to the party on it. And I started watching it. I was like, I'm just going to see what this is about because everybody's obsessed with it. And I was like, hooked. And my husband was sat in the corner of the room and he was sort of doing work. And as the evening went on, he was like, what's that? What's that? And then before you knew it, the laptop closed. And he's like this macho military man. So it was like he was like sat with me eating popcorn, like, so what's Conrad doing now? Like,
Oh, really?
yeah,
The
it's
whole
so
thing. What is Conrad doing now? What is going on, Connie baby?
yeah. I'm really looking forward to the movie. But
Me
since that's
too.
gone, like, yeah, we haven't really watched an awful lot. Just we love our Michael McIntyre, but just general crap to But yeah.
Mm. I love that. The Summer I Turned Pretty takes up brain space far too often for me. I think about Conrad and Belly way too often for a grown adult, and
I
I'm actually okay with it. I'm so okay with it because I love that show. I started watching
I
Summer
miss
Temptation
them.
from the first no, literally, from the first season, and I waited year upon year for each consecutive season, and now that it's done, but we
No.
are getting a movie, I'm like, "Wh what am I gonna do with this summer? What am I supposed to do with my summers
I
hereafter?"
know.
I'm supposed to
I
be constantly
know.
watching Conrad and Belly fall in and out of love. Please, give me more.
I know.
I
Oh
love
my
this.
gosh.
We
It's
are
it's
twin souls in that.
it's just so difficult to describe to somebody who hasn't seen it though why it's so addictive. Like I couldn't explain. I'd be like, well, I I couldn't explain. Like it's just so good. But yeah.
So good.
I'm not
So
into
good.
like crime or murder
Mm-mm.
mysteries. I am a sensitive soul, so watching anything like if an animal dies on TV, I'll cry about it all evening. Like I'm not it's not for
Absolutely.
me.
That is me to a
Oh,
T. I'm like, don't show me horror, don't show me thriller. If it's going to upset me, I do not want to consume it. Thank you so much. I am not trying
yes,
to watch TV to be stressed
100%.
out. That is not the vibe.
Exactly. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
So
What do
good.
you watch?
What do I watch? Honestly, I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of movies. I go to the cinema quite a lot. You will hear me raving about the
Mm,
cinema on my TikTok and on my Instagram. So if you only watch the podcast, go over there and see me rave about the cinema. I don't really consume
I
too
do
much
not have
else.
TikTok. Do I
Oh,
need to get
honestly,
TikTok?
no. No. It is an addictive scroll hole. If you if you wanna remain
Oh no.
with your, what is it? Your not authority. Anyway, if you want to not be addicted to your phone, I highly recommend not adopting the app TikTok, unless it's just for business, and then by all means, but don't start scrolling because it will be very hard to stop. Says me and the rest of the
Oh
internet
Lord.
who is currently trying to break habits with our apps.
Oh
But yeah,
lordy.
that's pretty much what I get up to. But I kinda just wanted to give you
Oh.
a little chance to let us know if you've got anything in your world that you want us to get our eyes on right now.
Oh, okay. So what I mean, professionally, it's actually a crazy time for me because I finished my dissertation at the end of this month. That'll be the end of a chapter, and then yay, thank you. It feels great. I started it when my son was 2, so God, so he's 7 now. So it took a
Ugh.
time out to have my daughter. So it feels like oh my gosh, such a huge chunk of my life. And I think my friends will be like really excited not to be hearing about it anymore. They'll be like, oh my God, thank God you've done that.
That's something to be
But
very proud of.
yeah, thank you. But and then obviously set up the Pilates things, but we're actually moving away. We're emigrating in 6 months. So yeah, so professionally, I don't know what it looks like new for the nutrition side of things, but at the moment, I just will look forward to continuing on the Instagram to provide education, information, inspiration to empower people to make informed decisions about cooking, into informed decisions for their health and nutrition, and hopefully inspire you in the kitchen to just make some healthier little meals for you and your family or whatever. But I do also want to encourage reach out to me because I'm so open to that. If there's anything specific, like I've had recently some ladies looking for dairy free or high fiber, low fat. So if there's anything that's specific that you people are needing, I would love to help out and share some nutrition and tips while I can before I'm doing one-to-one clients.
Amazing. That all sounds so good. And I highly encourage anyone that needs it to reach out to you because you are full of knowledge and you are so helpful and so kind and come from such a warming, safe space.
Oh.
So, yeah, I absolutely encourage everyone that needs it to reach out to you. And thank you so much for coming on the show today. We had a little technical glitch. I'm so sorry that you
No!
had to experience that, but
Oh my
thank you so
God.
much for sticking with me. And yeah, I
Oh,
really appreciate all of like your knowledge and your wisdom and your kindness in this episode. I think it's going to touch a lot of hearts. And yeah, thank you
oh.
so much for coming on.
Oh, honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I am learning myself. I'm on this journey myself, and Yeah, like it's just such an honor and like a privilege to be here. I think the world of you. I love what you're doing. And yeah, just such a, I'm so excited to be here and just thank you. It was such a great chat. And like, we need to do it again because that was so much fun.
We had a little technical difficulty at the end there, but I just wanted to say thank you so much to Elle for coming on the podcast. We really appreciated having you. It was such a cool discussion, so many cool points. Make sure you go to Elle's page if you want more. I especially love her recipes. I love her stories. They just like, they are a vibe. So make sure you go check her out. Check on the podcast regularly for new episodes most weeks. And yeah, thank you so much for listening, everyone. I will talk to you in the next episode of the Alex Beyond Thought podcast. Bye, everyone.